It's a mini episode of the K-pop cast, and I'm DJ Peter Lowe. I'm joined by Supermatic. What's going on, Supermatic?
What's up? What's up?
And I am a K-pop DJ, and Supermatic is a K-pop b-boy.
That's right.
That's perspective we bring to K-pop. Like the last episode, this is a quick abbreviated look at the song we're reviewing this week.
Yep.
But before we get into that, a quick public service announcement.
Something special for all you listeners out there.
That's right. So we want to hear what you guys think of our show, be it constructive feedback or what you do really like. We want to see those reviews.
Yes, absolutely.
On iTunes, Stitcher, wherever it is that you listen to the K-pop cast. To win an album by BTS.
The new one, You Never Walk Alone.
So to get your copy of You Never Walk Alone, and we've got a lot of great thoughts on this upcoming album.
Yes.
Just leave a review on the platform of your choice and tweet us, or tweet a link to that review with the hashtag K-popcast. So again, leave a review and tweet the link with the hashtag K-popcast.
Yep. Do us that little favor and you just might get a favor in return from us, which is that new sealed album.
Yeah, and we're looking to get reviews by March 8th, 2017.
Yep.
All right, so what do we have on the show for today, Supermatic?
We are taking a look at the latest comeback from Twice.
Twice.
The girls of Twice from JYP and their song, that little knock knock.
Okay, let's take it away. So it's the Twice Knock Knock music video that we're reviewing for this mini-sode. What happens in this episode? I feel like this is part of a story.
Yeah.
Right? So what's going on in the music video, Supermatic?
So Knock Knock is pretty much Twice having a fun slumber party, just being pretty much what they are, which is 9 young teenage girls just having fun, free-spirited, all together having a good time.
That's right.
Then it starts snowing outside their house and they go outside for a snowball fight. But then at the end of that snowball fight, things take a turn that we didn't necessarily expect.
That's right. So they get locked out and they die from hypothermia.
Yeah, more or less, yes.
I mean, pretty much, right? The whole music video is them being aegyo to the max. We got a special cameo by JYP.
Yes.
JYP, I mean. And that's about it, right?
More or less.
But, look, this is like part 2, right? Of TT.
In a way, yes. Sequel/prequel, one of those weird things.
Sure.
I mean, a lot of the reception online and all the fans have been commenting. The term they've dubbed it with is Twiceception.
Twiceception.
Parallel universes or time paradoxes, because the way that the Knock Knock video ends, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is pretty much the end of the TT music video. And these two songs and music videos, they tie together into one single story. And the reasoning for that being that we see these 2 little kids during Halloween. They walk into this haunted house, which we discover is Twice's haunted house.
That's right.
And they open up all these different doors. And
they see the different concepts.
Yes, they see
each of the members. In their Halloween outfits and costumes, right?
Yes, and we saw these different characters played by, like, Geo being the Ice Queen. We had Neon with the innocent devil within. We had Chaeyoung as the mermaid, Dahyun as a bunny, Momo's Tinkerbell, etc., etc.
Right.
And these 2 little kids from the TT video just going around exploring it and pretty much
the
being
many different sides of Twice.
Yes, seeing these different sides of the members of Twice. And then, so at the end of Knock Knock, all of a sudden we're taken back to the end of that video where the 2 kids turn around and they're hearing the knocking at the door, which we're left to think or at least assume is the members of Twice after they got locked out of their house.
Right. And again, this is all the TT music video.
Yes.
At the beginning of that TT music video, those same 2 kids, they knock on the door in that same cadence. And you hear that at the end of the music video with them inside, them turning around. Now this led a lot of fans to speculate, well, who could it be that's at the door?
Yeah, and it's funny too because when TT came out, all the fan reception or a lot of the focus was on, oh, who is it that's knocking? Is that like going to lead into the next music video continuation? And there was a lot of fan speculation that it was going to be Somi in some form or another, that she was going to cameo in the next video.
And Somi is a member of the 16 reality show, which sort of casts together all the members of Twice, and she didn't quite make it. But you may know her from IOI.
Yes.
Yes.
She was the center of IOI. She won Produce 101, and of course we know the saga of IOI lasted only a year.
So fair speculation, right, for fans to assume.
Exactly. Considering that she's still under JYP.
That's right. So at the end of this music video, we see that it's the girls knocking on the door again. We hear that same knock knock, and those two kids, they turn around.
Yep.
That same jaw open face.
Yep. That bewildered look of surprise.
Right. So what does it mean?
We can only guess because, again, the girls of Twice throughout the knock knock video, which is what we're looking at today, they were just having a good time. They were having a slumber party, and then they get interrupted. They're excited because they thought they're getting another guest, which ends up being a hilarious, perfectly troll cameo from JYP. Because of all the fan speculation, it was going to be Somi, but then no, it's like, ha, gotcha. It's just me, Papa JYP himself.
JYP shows up with his Casio keyboard and nightcap, and he's like, hey, gals, we're going to have like a fun music production slumber party.
And he's got the cheesiest smile on his face, which I love.
And that was the real spotlight, I think, of this music video. I think that's the one thing people remember about this song.
Yep.
And of course, because JYP couldn't drop his JYP intro in the song, he had to put himself into it, even if it is in a self-deprecating way.
Right.
I mean, that's one thing I gotta love about Papa JYP is that he knows how to make fun of himself.
Yep, for sure.
So he shows up. The girls all look kind of
disgusted. They have this look of like contempt, disappointment, all in one. They're pretty much representative of the fans as well as themselves.
Right.
But then, so they slam the door shut in JYP's face, and then they're about to head back upstairs. All of a sudden, they're like, oh wait, someone else again. They thought maybe JYP trying for a second shot. They open the door, expecting to see him there again, but then instead, no one there. But on the floor at their doorstep is a Twice coaster storybook.
That's right.
And this storybook plays a key part in the rest of the music video, because when they open that storybook, you see illustrations of each of the different personas that the members of Twice played in the TT music video.
That's right.
You see the mermaid, you see the ice queen, you see Tinkerbell,
the bunny,
all of that, the bunny.
So going back to the Twice coaster concept, it's been speculated that you're seeing the many different emotional reactions and inner feelings of a girl.
Yes.
And maybe as a guy, how confusing this can be. So we see with Cheer Up, for example, the lens of the camera looking at, okay, these girls who may appear disinterested on the surface, he applies a lens and he sees their inner self.
Yes, like
and maybe their inner demons or their inner identity and what they're going through. And at the end, you kind of see them for each of the girls for who they are, right?
Yes.
With all the lenses off. With TT, very similar concept, right? So we open, the two kids, they open the doors. Each time they open a door, they see a different side of the girls. With this, we didn't get that.
Yeah, not so much. We just pretty much got a lot of the video being all 9 of them at the same time, or we got different shots of... Well, there is the really cool effect that they did, which is the 3 different frames, and each of the members got their turn in those 3 frames,
that was
complete
cool.
with different outfits.
Right. Yeah. But it didn't seem like it was to the same...
effect,
but also creative level.
Yes.
That's right. In terms of like, oh, well, this person has this sort of like persona and brand. And that's kind of what made Twice famous and popular, right? Just the attention to detail to each individual member in a way that was really fresh, right? This, we didn't get that, at least not to that same extent.
Yeah.
Right. But you did find a couple small nods to each of their quirks and their personalities, right?
Yeah, there's different moments where each of the members shines in their own way or what they're known for with the fans, like Sana being the klutz that she loves for being at the snowball when they go out, and she ends up going the wrong way compared to the other 8 members because she's the last one to leave the house.
Right.
There's Dahyun actually having a callback to the TT video when they're at the bottom of the stairs. She does her bunny shuffling dance,
which is pretty cool.
Yep. There's Momo with her few lines, where she does the Nico Nico Ni. Like all the members, there's these like little quirks and nods.
There's small quirks, but it's not called out in the big way that we've seen from Twice in the past.
Exactly.
So where does this fit in with Twice Coaster, aside from seeing it in the storybook at the end?
One of the other images that we actually see throughout the music video for Knock Knock is the clock as well.
Oh, right.
And at the beginning of the music video, as Neon brings us in with her vocal, she says the clock strikes midnight, the door's almost closing. And we don't see the clock exactly at midnight yet, but it's like it's
5
close
minutes
to it.
till at the beginning of the music video. Right.
And how this ties into TT as well is with the lyrics, because in TT, each of the members, what they're singing about is from the perspective of a girl who's still waiting for that guy to come along and like get them to open up.
Yeah.
They're like TT because they're sad because they're still waiting.
Right.
And then here with Knock Knock, you hear the girl sing like knock 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 on my heart, get me, like, please be the one to get me to open up.
Right.
So even lyrically, the songs tie together.
Okay.
And what that clock represents as well too is during the snowball fight, while the girls are out having fun, the door slams shut. And right after we see that, this clock starts having his hands turned backwards as opposed to going forward, which it was doing earlier in the music video.
That's right.
And while the time is turning backwards, we see the storybook, which was left by itself, flipping its pages on its own, starts emitting a bright white light as if that storybook is coming to life. And a lot of the fan speculation is that storybook had some kind of magical power or whatnot. That book is what took the house and turned it into the haunted house from TT.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is where I'm just left scratching my head. Like, what are they trying to say? I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. But I mean, is this just the kids' imagination? Is it, just the different sides of different ways we can express ourselves, the different, doors we can open? I don't know. I just thought it was just so pathetically aegyo throughout. And even to the point where they run up to the door and they're like knocking at the door.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, let me in. And the camera zooms in on a few of the different girls' faces just looking sad. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are they trying to tell with this? I mean, the clock, could it be that, like, you've only got so much time, boy, to make your move? To open her heart? Or else she's going to go like TT. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I don't like this whole aegyo look. Maybe it's just me as a Westerner. But to me, it feels like it relies on the guy to take all the initiative, and the girl just has to sit around looking pathetic and primping and grooming herself at home. Much like we saw with SNSD Lionheart.
True.
Where all the girls are in their room grooming, and then a guy rings the doorbell, and then they all stop what they're doing.
Yeah,
Everything
like,
goes in the ball of time. And that's not a message that I think is very unique for K-pop. Twice especially. Twice, I think we could have gotten something better.
That's true. And going along with that, I mean, especially as we look at the song itself too.
Right.
I mean, we could say a lot about the music video, but for the song itself, it's clear right from the beginning that this is something different as opposed to what we got from like Uwa and Cheer Up and TT.
Yeah.
And I got curious, especially from the opening riff, so I looked into it, and I found out that this is actually the first title track for Twice that was not spearheaded by Black Eyed Pilsung. He was the one who spearheaded the previous 3 title tracks.
Yeah.
This current one, Knock Knock, was spearheaded by a completely new composer by the name of Collapsodon, aka Lee Woo Min.
Okay.
So that made sense to me when I started thinking, like, oh man, listening to this it just sounds and feels like a totally different direction from what I'm used to.
It definitely does, yeah. And that makes a lot of sense now that you mentioned that producer discrepancy. I mean, nothing on
Collapsodon.
Sorry, his name. But it's not the same level that we're expecting from Twice. I thought the other songs were more dynamic in terms of the sounds and the instruments that were provided in the song. This felt very commoditized aegyo. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you touched on it too. There's a lot that we could say for the previous title tracks that with how they had that complementary quirkiness with the instrumentals and the beats and riffs to complement Twice's style as opposed to this track. This one here with Knock Knock, it's more like a straightforward pop song with just guitar riffs and heavy synths and not really much else.
Right.
And if I may actually go ahead and cite a review
Oh, please do.
that I read online from Nick of the Bias List. He said that Knock Knock may be the most fleshed out title track that Twice has given us, but that could be because of how safe they played it, and it's not a sound that hard to duplicate. There's no denying it is still a strong track, but it easily could have been delivered by many other K-pop acts to the similar effects.
Right. And I think G-Friend comes to mind.
Yes.
A-Pink.
Yes.
Yes.
Any of the current standard girl groups that also do that Aegyo concept.
Yeah. So, like our listener Evangeline keeps pointing out, these girls, all looks, no talent. And we know Twice is capable of talent.
Yeah.
Right. And this doesn't showcase, I think, that talent to that extent. We got a little taste of their personality, but not the same level of personality that we get with their other songs.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think of the audio? Anything else on the audio?
I mean, with what Nick said, and I totally wholeheartedly agree that you could easily switch the members of Twice out with any other girl group and it would still pretty much sound about the same. I am glad that Twice was the one who did it because I love these girls. I love Twice, so I will listen to it. But I just kind of wish they didn't play it so safe. I get the idea of if it's not broke, don't fix it. And this is Twice's niche. It's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just feels like they took a few steps back after they hinted at going forward, especially with TT.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, well, TT, you tease these girls slowly approaching that more growing up phase. And then here with Knock Knock, you reverted back to them just being teenagers.
Yeah. They're older than that now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I nothing more to add to that from me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would expect this from anyone else, and TT could do better.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of ratings, for our listeners who are tuning in for the first time, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, how would you rate this for its audio?
So for its audio, I actually gave it a 3.5 because, again, I am a huge fan of their previous tracks, like Ooh Ah, Cheer Up, TT.
Right.
And this one just... Even though I do like it, I'll enjoy it. I'll probably listen to it. It's not going to be my go-to when I think of Twice.
Sure.
It's on the lower end of the spectrum for me compared to the other 3 title tracks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. For me, it's a 2.9. I think compositionally wise, there's nothing really that wrong with the song, but it just feels so commodity Aegyo. And
I can see that.
Like, I already got enough of this in K-pop right now.
Yeah.
And this also is almost kind of in stark contrast to what we just said about Taeyeon. Like, that was so different. And Twice, like, come on. They can.
Yeah.
They demonstrated the ability to do something slightly different and to bring out the personality of all the members. And I didn't get that with the audio of the song. I think there were a couple times where we hear the pronunciation of, I think it's Sana, how she says knock knock.
But it's like nana.
Yeah. And that's cute, I guess, because that's, bringing out the, quirkiness of each of the members, but not really feeling it for the song.
Okay.
Concept.
So concept is actually where I was, I was a little more generous because even though it was a little more on the simple side for me, and like I always say, I wish, or at least I would like to see K-pop labels and groups swing for the fences, take some chances. I liked how it tied into TT, how they connected the story together. And again, visually and aesthetically speaking, this was a fun music video to watch. And I also liked watching, in particular, the snowball fight scene. It just seemed like the girls of Twice legitimately had a lot of fun and were very happy with shooting this music video overall.
Yeah.
And I felt that. So
I can see that.
That's why I gave it a 4, because I liked what it did, and if it feels good to me, then of course I will rate it well.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you can provide that once perspective so that all the onces don't get mad at the show. But I'm going to give it a 3 because I liked the choreography. And
oh, yes.
The choreography I thought was pretty cool. It brings something different to K-pop, at least in the dance, right?
Definitely.
In terms of how they... As we saw in the music video where we saw those like 3 vertical frames of like one member being cycled in the middle and showing the 2 sides of that same member on the left and the right.
Yes.
We saw something kind of similar to that in the choreography where it's not necessarily the same member because you can't duplicate one person more than once on the stage. But you kind of have these framing, right? Of the
Mhm.
different members as the different girls use their arms to sort of like act as windows, right? To
Yes.
open and close the different girls that
Mhm.
they're spotlighting. That was kind of cool, even if it is in an Aegyo sort of way. And
Yeah.
that's a cool way. I think that Aegyo can, I think, become more diversified. So it's got that going for it. But on the whole, it didn't show, as I said earlier, everything that we've expected of these girls.
Okay.
So not enough personality, not enough creative energy, I think, shown into each of the individual personas of the girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then overall?
Overall, I think for me, it's not Daebak.
Okay.
Because, look, JYPE has such a bias against JYP, who didn't even get any lines
Aw.
in this music video, and they gave him like 1 or 2 seconds of screen time. No, but in all seriousness, like if I saw this with another girl group like G Friend, I think I would also give it not Daebak, right? Because they could have done more with the story. They could have done more in showing the creative girls, and the song I just wasn't feeling. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't clear, for me, it's a Daebak. So I guess that's where we have our discourse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for this episode of K-Popcast. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
Tweet with the hashtag K-Popcast. Or leave us a review. Because if you leave us a review,
you could potentially win yourself a copy of the brand new BTS You Never Walk Alone album.
That's right. And we're looking for your review by March 8th, 2017. So just tweet out the link to your review with the hashtag K-Popcast, and we'll let you know over Twitter if you've won.
Yep, absolutely. And when it comes to Twitter, you can find both of us there. I am at Supermatic, which is SOUPERMATIC.
And I'm at DJ Peter Lowe. That's DJ PETERLO.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been the K-Popcast. Keep it locked until next time.
And next time is BTS.
Yeah.